Hello everyone and welcome back to Tech with Teacher George. This video is a continuation of our video series as we learn a complete course on Microsoft Excel. In this particular video, we are going to learn one of the most important topics in Microsoft Excel, and that is cell basics. Every piece of information you enter in Excel is stored in what we call a cell. This video is going to be a comprehensive video where you are going to learn to understand a variety of things as you work with cells in Microsoft Excel. By the end of this video, I expect you to be able to understand what a cell is and also identify what a cell address is. You should also be able to select and move between cells. You should be able to enter and edit data. I expect you to be able to insert and update information in your cells. You should be able to clear and delete cell contents. We're also going to learn how to copy, how to cut and paste data. We are going to learn how to drag and drop. And lastly, we are going to learn how to use the fill handle to copy data. As we begin our practical demonstration, cell is that basic unit where data is stored in Microsoft Excel. These boxes you see here are what we call cells. And whenever you are typing information in your Microsoft Excel application, you've got to type it in these boxes, which are called cells. Each box here or each cell has its address. Its address is created by the column intersecting with the row. So you realize that as I select a cell like this one, its address is clear. It is written up here. This is H7. When I select another cell, its address is right here. It is K8. You realize that the cell address is made up of two things. There is the letter which defines the column where that cell is found, and then there is a number which defines the row where that cell is found. So like we've said, when you select a cell, you'll find that the column and the row, they are intersecting together. For example, when I just highlight this column and I give it that color, maybe let me give it a color which is faint. Then I also highlight this row and I give it a color. So the two are intersecting at this point. Now the cell at their intersection point is cell K9. So the cell address of this, the address of this cell is K9, simply because it is at the intersection of column K and row number 9. So that is, I hope that makes it very easy for you to understand what we call the cell address, and then also what we call a cell. When we want to select a cell, we are going to basically utilize our mouse. You click a cell, move to another place, and then you simply left click it, and then there you are. That's how you can select it. So you can also select the cells by simply navigating with the help of the arrow keys on your keyboard. The down arrow key makes you to move to the downer cells. The right arrow key makes you to move to the right cells. Then the left arrow key makes you to move to the keys which are found on the left of your worksheet. The upper arrow key makes you to navigate or else to move upwards. But you can also use the tab key on your keyboard. When you press the tab key, you realize that you are navigating from one cell to the other, going to the right hand side. When you want to navigate to the cells which are on the left hand side of your worksheet, you are going to press shift and then tab key, and you keep on pressing tab key while holding shift. Then you will find that you are navigating, but moving to the left hand side. So that is how you can be able to select a cell. You can select it with the help of your mouse. You can select it with the help of your keyboard, maximizing the usage of the arrow keys, and then also the tab keys. I want us to look at how to enter information in a cell. So when you want to enter information in a cell, you first have to select that cell. For example, we are going to enter information in cell A1. And cell A1, like we have said, it is a combination, it is the intersection of column A and then row number 1. And that is this cell. If I want to enter information in this cell, for example, I can type information like I can type their name. If I want to type information in another cell, like cell B1, like this particular cell, I can say age, then I can click this one, cell C1, and then I say maybe score. I can be able to type information like the way I've typed. And then maybe I want to put a sample name here like John, and then under the age, I just click that cell, that is B2, and then I type the age. Maybe John is 15 years, and then John is score, maybe John scored 85. So that is how I can be able to enter information. John is also called Okello. So I simply need to double click that cell where John is found, and then I press the space key on the keyboard. Then I say, maybe this is John Okello, and then I type Okello right there. Then if I want John Okello to be displayed fully, you can see right now, Okello is not fully displayed. I can simply point between letter A and letter B. There is a line which is separating the two columns. When I point at it, I realize that there is that double arrow which appears. I can be able to double click such that it automatically creates adequate space where the name John Okello can be displayed. So maybe I also realize that I need to add another name to Peter. Maybe Peter is called Peter Katongole. So I am going to select this cell where Peter is found. If I don't want to double click it, then I can come up here and then I edit it from right here. So you realize that every cell that you have selected, its content will be displayed from this particular area. So if I want to edit it, I can be able to edit it from there. Maybe Peter scored 100. So I highlight the current number and then I type there the new number. And then you can see I have edited that. But maybe I want to add another name to Peter. So I select Peter and then I click up here where Peter is found. Then I press space and then I add the second name, and that is the Katongole. So there we are. So you do the same like what we did to John Okello. Point at this line which is coming down, and then double click, then it will automatically be able to create enough space where that particular name can be displayed and it can be seen visibly. The other thing that I want us to look at is how to insert a column and how to insert a row within this information that we have already prepared. Maybe I realized that I missed out a column that is supposed to show maybe like the gender of these particular people. So what I will do, I will select this column here because I want the column for gender to appear between age and score. So what I will do, I am going to select the column for score, and then I right click, and then I come here and I select insert. So you realize that another column has been created. So I click up there and then I say this column is for their sex or their gender. Then I can be able to say Okello is male, and then Peter Katongole is also male, and then I am able to type that information in those cells that I have created there. Then maybe I realize that maybe I want another person to be, I realized that when I was typing, I skipped one person who was there between Peter and John. So I need to create a row somewhere here between the two people. So in order for me to create it, I am going to select the last person here. I'm going to select the row of this last person. I right click, and then I am able to insert another row inside there. Then I can say maybe this other person is Grace Ashanut. Okay, the person is called Grace Ashanut. Her age, maybe she's 12 years, and then her gender, she is a female. So I type there, and then I type here in this particular cell D3, I am going to type her score. Maybe she scored a 95, and then I click out. So that is how we can be able to insert information, how we can be able to insert rows and also columns in our worksheet. How to clear content in cells. Maybe I realized that the gender that I typed here for this particular person, Grace Ashanut, the gender of this person is not the right gender. Maybe this Grace Ashanut is supposed to be a male. So what I'm going to do, I am going to simply clear the gender which is there right now. So in order for me to clear, I first select it. Right here in the editing group, I am going to click clear. And then this is going to clear that content. And then you realize it is now empty. Then I can be able to type the right gender that I am supposed to put there. Then the other thing is, maybe I am interested in deleting this gender. I don't want this gender to appear here. So in that situation, what I'm going to do, I am going to select this column, and then I'm going to right click, and then I come here, and then I say delete. That column for gender totally will be deleted away. And then the other way of deleting this column is I select it, and then I come up here. You realize in the cells group, when you are in the home tab, in the cells group, there is delete right here. So I click this drop down arrow, and then I can be able to select the first option which says delete cells, and then that goes away. So those are two ways. So in order for you to select that column, you simply left click, and then the entire column will be highlighted. Then in order for you to delete, you are going to right click, and then you come to delete. Or else you select it. After selecting it, head to the home tab, then come to the cells group, and then come right here, and then you delete it. That is how we can delete the column of our worksheet. Maybe we also want to delete a row. Maybe we want to delete this row having this person called John Okello. So to delete this row, it is just like the way we have done with the other column. Select the row, select the entire row by pointing at the number which is labeled on the row, and then the entire row will be highlighted. Then right click, and then come right here and delete. Or else, if we want to do it the way we did with the second alternative, the second alternative of deleting this row is you select the entire row, and then come back here to this delete, and then you select delete the row, delete the sheet rows, not delete cells, but this time around we delete the sheet rows because this one is a row. So you click that, and then your row is totally deleted. Now I want us to look at how to copy, how to paste, and then how to cut content. You know, copying and cutting work hand in hand. We are going to understand the difference between the two. Copying and pasting are basically a mechanism of duplicating content or duplicating the information that has already been created. Maybe you want to copy this particular name here. I have another person called Grace Ashanut, and she has another name. So instead of me typing Grace Ashanut and that other name, I am going to select this name that I've already typed, right click, and then I come here, I copy it. And when I select the copy option, then you realize that there is a green boundary surrounding that copied content. So maybe I want to paste that name right here. So I'll just right click and then I come and I paste it right there. So you realize that I have pasted the name. So I can be able to now add the third name to this particular person. Maybe the person is called Grace Ashanut. Grace Ashanut Prosper. Okay, so there we are. So as usual, you can double click here such that the whole name is typed. Then I can be able to type maybe this one is 10 and this one is squared 85. So that is how we can copy. It is as simple as you selecting the cell, right click and then come to copy, or else select the cell, come to the clipboard group on the home tab and then click copy and then go to wherever you want to paste it, select that area, click the paste command clipboard group on the home tab. Yes, so basically that is how you can copy and paste. Now you realize that copying and pasting creates a duplicate. We have Peter Katongole right here, we have Peter Katongole here again. This is happening simply because we copied and pasted. So it is like we created a duplicate of what was already created. The other thing that I want us to look at is how do we cut and paste. Cutting enables us to move this from one place to another. So in order for us to cut, we are going to select this cell which has got Peter Katongole, and then we are going to come to the clipboard group and then we click cut. Then maybe we want that name to appear somewhere here. So we are going to transfer it. We're going to move it from where it is right now. We're going to move it to the new location, which is the cell address A21. So in order for us to transfer it, to move it from here to the new location, we just needed to select it, come and cut, select it, and then cut, and then select the destination where we want it to be, and then we come back here and paste. So that's the difference between copying and pasting compared to cutting and pasting. Copying creates a duplicate of what was already there. Meanwhile, cutting moves that particular data from one cell to another cell. It was somewhere here, and right now it is now somewhere else. So that is copying and pasting. Now, there is another way of moving information from the existing cells to other cells, dragging and dropping cells. It is another way of moving information from cells to other cells. For example, maybe we want to move away these scores from this column C. We want to transfer them to column D. In order for us to move them, we just have to highlight them, and then after highlighting, we are going to drag them. We're going to, if we don't want to cut them, paste them here. What we are going to do, we are going to drag them from column C to column D. In order for us to do that, we simply highlight, and then after highlighting, you will see this green boundary highlighting the area. Then we are going to point at any edge of this green boundary. We can point at this or point at this other one, the vertical ones. After pointing at it, you realize that it gives you that compass. So what we shall do to that compass, we shall click it and hold, then we drag it. You see, I am now dragging it and I can drop it wherever I want. So I can drop that square there. I can also get it from here by selecting this and then I drag it and I come and position it and I drop it there. So that is dragging and dropping. And then the other thing that I want us to look at is using what we call the fill handle. Maybe this column now, in this column, I am going to put the gender back here. And the gender here, remember we said this one is a female. This one is a female. Grace Ashanut is a female. And then Peter is a male. And then when I look down, I realize that I have Alex or Pete is also a male. Polly again is also probably a male. So I don't need to go on typing this gender on each of these people. I can embrace to use what we call the fill handle. The fill handle is going to duplicate this content and it is going to apply it on all these other remaining people, as long as all of them are males. So the fill handle can be got from by selecting the cell, and then you realize when you select the cell, there is this dot at the bottom right corner. When you point at that dot, there is a small cross which appears. So that small cross is going to help us. We are going to click that small cross in order for us to do what we call our autofilling. So we are going to autofill the content that is in this cell. We are going to automatically fill it here without typing it manually. So to do that, we shall select that dot, left click the mouse and drag it up to where we want. You realize as you release your mouse, it automatically drops it there. In summary, we have looked at what we call a cell, and we have said a cell is the basic unit where data is stored in Microsoft Excel, whereas the cell address tells us the exact location of that cell. For example, if I select this cell, its cell address is right here. It is S6, and we have said S6 or the cell address is defined or determined by the column letter and the row number. So that's why you see A and then number 6. It is because this cell, it is the intersection of a column A and the cell and the row number 6. We have also looked at how to select cells, and we are saying we can select a cell with the help of a mouse. We can also select cells with the help of our keyboard, embracing to use the arrow keys, which can make us to move up, move down, and move left, and also move right. And we have also said we can use the tab key to move to the right of our cells. We can also use shift and tab in order for us to move leftwards with the help of our keyboard on our worksheet. We have looked at how to insert information in a cell. We have said we select the cell, then type the information in that cell. Then we have looked at how to edit the information which is inside the cell. For example, if you want to remove the name Ashanut from here, so you just simply double click the cell, and then you can be able to highlight that name, and then you delete it on your keyboard. Or else you can be able to select the cell, come up here on the formula bar, and then you highlight what you want to remove, and then you delete it on your keyboard. You can use the delete key or the backspace key. Then it will be able to erase that information that you don't want to appear in your particular cell. And then we have looked at how to delete columns like this one. We've said you select the column, right click, delete it. Then we also saw how to delete the row by selecting the row, right click, and then you delete it. So in summary, we have learned quite very many things, and I'm pretty sure you can now understand what a cell is. You understand how to enter content inside a cell. You understand how to transfer that information in a cell from one cell to another. You know how to drag and drop and very many other things that we have looked at in this particular video. Thank you very much for watching this video. If this video has been so helpful to you, I kindly request you consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, and where necessary, you can like the video, you can comment, and you can share your feedback with me through the comment section. Share the video with all your potential friends that you feel can be able to benefit out of this particular video. Otherwise, thank you very much. My name is still Teacher George.